Hello, welcome. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Justin. This is a new version of a show that I used to do called Wicked Kitchen. Old name of the show is Kitchen Time. You'll still see that Wednesdays here on the channel. But since it's the weekend and it's not a Wednesday, it's Wicked Kitchen Time. Woo! As you saw if you were looking at the title screen, we're going to be making French toast. I had this idea last night, and so I went out and got a nice thick French some French toast bread. First, I'm going to turn on my electric kettle for coffee. That's very important to me in my life. I have to grab my coffee grinder or spice grinder if you're nasty. I'm going to switch over to our prep station so that we can grind our coffee. I normally choose my coffee solely based on how cute the packaging is, because that's the type of person I am. So we're going to do 30 grams. I've also moved this into the freezer just because I don't drink coffee a ton, so I want to make sure it stays fresher longer, and I've been led to believe coffee in the freezer is the way to do that. So we're going to do 30 grams of coffee. I'm going to kind of eyeball this. I'm going to say that my quarter of the cup is going to do the job. We'll see. I like coffee beans because it keeps fresher longer. Let's see. 58, you know what, I'll do a double. That's the kind of day we're having. So we're going to slap the lid on it and take it for a spin. This should be silent. This is hopefully super quiet. There we go. Depending on your type of brewing, I'm doing a pour over because that's the thing I have here. So that's what I'm going to be using. If you're using something else, go finer. I think a little finer on that. There we go. That's good enough for me. There are some bigger bits, there's some smaller bits. That's just the way you're going to get with this type of grinder. If you want to shell out that $200 for a burger grinder, jealous. It's not what I have right now. So I'm going to kind of use two methods in a different way. I'm going to do pour over to actually make the coffee, and then I'm going to make. I'm going to use my little dripper thing, my little ceramic doodad here to filter it out because this always leaves grounds, which gross. So we're going to pour all of our ground coffee into the bottom here. Luckily, it's just me, so I don't really have to be exactly precise with measurements. Water is boiled, so we're going to pour this on, and we're going to wait for 3 minutes. It's going to kind of go in a circle. This gooseneck is a little hard to control sometimes. So I'm just going to spin the carafe as it goes. I'm going to fill it up to this metal band, which I feel, there we go. That's a good cup of coffee. And I'm going to leave the plunger off of that just so some steam escapes. While we're also here, we're going to break down this orange for our orange sauce. It's going to be made in a couple minutes. Grab your most favorite knife. Mine's this one. It's from IKEA. It's lovely. We're going to chop it in half, and then we're going to take our paring knife and take off a couple pieces of zest for the sauce later. So just make sure you're taking the orange bit and not the pith. It doesn't matter how big the pieces are. If you have a, a microplane, this will be so much easier. This is to just get the flavor because there are extractable oils in this peel. So taking out some chunks while we're waiting for our coffee. I'm also streaming today because to reach affiliate, which is the way I can get subscribers and those cute little badges that I could design, I have to stream for 7 days out of the month of the 30 days. So that's the idea, that's the plan. So we're going to do our coffee now. Move that off to the side of our cutting board. Make sure our little arrow thing is pointing that way. And then this should take about 30 seconds to reach the bottom. And then I'm just going to give it a few little up and downs just to get anything that's off of it. Then you have to grab your favorite mug. Mine happens to be this Golden Girls one. Stay golden. Then we're going to take our paper coffee filter and our Hario V60 dripper, stick that inside, and it fits perfectly on the mug. Some people like to warm their cups with hot water and then pour water over the paper because it doesn't taste like paper. I don't care. It does not taste like paper to me. It tastes like nothing. So we're going to let this drip through. Catching, you'll see it at the end. There's going to be all these little gross grounds. See already we have that nice line of grounds that we could have been drinking. And I don't like chunky coffee. It's just not the vibe we're going for here today. Okay. There we go. All right, that's all the coffee. So we're going to put this in the back corner while that drips away. And we're going to do 118 grams of orange juice for our orange sauce. And then we'll work on our custard. It'll be so much easier to deal with this when it's in smaller pieces. I have big hands, but still, it's just nice to squeeze this rather than a whole half of an orange. So whatever we don't make 118 out of this orange, we're just gonna add some regular store-bought orange juice, which is fine. That's what I was gonna make with this. Then I decided, why not get some fresh oranges? Yeah. There we go, we're getting there. We're also gonna strain this, but through just a mesh strainer, nothing fancy. Do the same thing with our other half. Yeah, it seems we're only at 52, so we're gonna add some of the store-bought stuff. Try to speed through this as much as I can. Just slightly off camera, our coffee is finished filtering, and I'll show you in a quick second just how much grounds are there after the French press. That's just gross. It's my least favorite part of coffee drinking is when you're halfway through a nice cup, and then all of a sudden you get a mouthful of grounds. Okay, so we were at about 50 grams or 50 milliliters. They're the same of our orange juice. So I'm just going to clean off my scale here. Okay. So we're going to about double this with our regular orange juice. There we go. Okay. We're pretty much done over here. So I'm going to switch you guys back over to my wonderful, wonderful face, and then we'll continue cooking. Hi, welcome to this side of the kitchen. So I have a couple pots going here. I have a very small pot for the orange juice. I meant to strain that. I just realized that as I was pouring it in, no, not a huge deal for just pour it back out and then pour it through. Just get the bits that the straining didn't get. Here, I can move you and show you. There. So we have our oranges back here. This is going to be for our sausage because I was already there shopping, so I figured why not get sausage. And this is going to be for our French toast. So let's work on the custard. You know what? We're actually going to switch back to our prep station over there because this will be easier to show. I'm going to clean this up a bit. Oh, we can also throw all this peel into our orange juice that we have going. I'm going to finish that before I start the custard because that might take a minute to reduce down into a lovely sauce. Go. So on my handy dandy recipe book, throw the top back on. Just wiping this off so it's not super sticky. So for the orange sauce, we're also going to do 2 tablespoons of butter and then 150 grams of sugar. So a little bit of butter. Throw that in there. And then our 150 of sugar, which I have here. There we go. Change our scale over 2 grams. And I'm comfortable doing this with, on the lid. So I'm just going to grab a spoon and start ladling it in there. So 150, we're going to zero it out. Ooh, try not to spill it everywhere. Because this lid's on the smaller side, I'm going to do 50-50 to 50, which for the mathematicians out there will equal 150. We're going to get the stuff we missed too on there. Go. I'm changing it up. I'm not going to use the lid. I'm going to use, it's because this will be a heck of a lot easier. Wonderful little cup measurement. We're going to zero it out. So we already did 50. So let's do 100 since we have the space for it now. Oh, okay. A little over. I'll scoop some out. Yeah. 103 I'm fine with. If it's going to be a little sweet, it's a little sweet. We're going to dump that in and let that go. I'm going to turn that on medium low, which in my neck of the woods is about a 5. About a 4. So we're back up the sugar, just in case I knock it over, which could very well happen. So that's our orange sauce done, and we're just going to let that go and reduce. So for the custard, we're going to do eggs. I'm going to go put the coffee grounds away. We're going to do half and half eggs. We're going to do 3 large eggs. I already have them in this bowl to make it super easy for myself. Left press there. I'm not cracking on the side of the bowl because that will drive the eggshell right up into the egg, and it'll be nice and crunchy French toast. So we're going to do our 3 eggs. I'm going to move this camera just a little bit so that we can, there we go, see what I'm actually doing. So the 3 eggs we have. I know how to do one-handed. It's not a time saver. It just looks cool, and it barely looks cool at that. So we have our 3 eggs, and we're going to do 230 grams of half and half. If you're feeling real unhealthy, you can do heavy cream, which is something I've done before, which is what I considered doing, except I didn't have creamer for my coffee, so I figured I'd knock out 2 things by doing it this way. You can see I shopped last night, so this is unopened. Cool. We're going to look for 230. Oh, 227. I love doing it, trying to get it on the nose because I'm a nerd like that. There we go. 230. I'm going to pour some into my coffee as well. There we go. Usually I prefer oat milk, but I just wanted to get one thing instead of several. And I also have some agave, which we're going to do 40 grams of agave or honey. I happen to have agave because we did margaritas the other night, and I had this laying around. So we're going to do 40 grams of that. It's also going in 23, 30. There, 40, and then some of my coffee. Cool, so we have that going. I'm going to whisk it together. I'm also going to stir my coffee using. You can totally use a fork. Oh, delicious. Perfect. I know it's not morning for most people, but for me, I woke up about an hour ago. So this is the morning. Let me move my scale out of the way. We'll come back to that later. That's the hardest working thing in this kitchen. And we're just going to lightly whisk. I just want to pop the egg yolks because it'll be easier to mix this way. And we're going to add some seasonings in a second. So we basically just made a custard. And now we're going to season it up to our heart's content. If you wanted to make this the night before, you totally could. I just didn't have the half. Otherwise, I would have made this the night before, and it would have gotten better because aged custards taste better. We're going to do a bit of vanilla. There we go. And then also a bit of cinnamon. That's what I like in my French toast. There we go. Okay. Perfect. We're going to put these back. Clean up as you go. It'll just be easier because otherwise I will just not do it. I'll just stare at it and be like, wow, someone should clean that. That someone is usually me. We are going to move our custard over to a cake pan so that we can dip our French toast. If you were making this for a crowd, I mean, this recipe easily doubles, triples, somersaults, whatever. I would also leave the bread out so that it can really dry out and soak up a lot of the custard. But it'll be fine this way as well. Also going to throw my sausage into the pan. I'm going to do a little bit of vegetable. I'm telling you guys this when I can just switch you to the other camera. Okay. Look, okay. So back here is going to be the sausage pan. So we're just going to hit it with a little bit of vegetable oil. These sausage don't need much because they're going to release their own fat. That. I'm going to do 4 links because I'm feeling just a little hungry this morning. There we go. So we're going to throw those in back. Make sure we're turning on the right burner. We're also going to put those on medium just because it's a safe option. We're going to throw those back there so you guys don't see them. And then we're going to let the bread go for a little soak. So we have our big thick cut pieces. And we're going to do 2 at a time and just really let them soak in for about 30 seconds to a minute. In the meantime, we're going to get our other French toast pan going about medium. The end of the bread, special treat for you. This is perfect because it's really eggy, so it'll crisp up real nice. I'm just giving the orange juice a little stir over on the burner. It's a lot of liquid to get through to get to that wonderful sauce, but when we get there, it's going to be perfect. I'm just grabbing a fork so I can flip. Actually, you know what? We'll see how this works. I'm going to use some chopsticks, see if that... No, it's not going to work. All right, well, I thought about it for more than 2 seconds. So we're just going to use the fork to just kind of help me lift it up, flip it, the 2 pieces. These actually, oh, there we go. These are actually super, super dry. So it's going to work out in our favor because it's going to soak up more of this custard. We want a really nice creamy interior with the crispity crunch on the outside. For our French toast pan, we're going to do a little bit of butter, just kind of wiping around the pan. I use nonstick, so I don't use as much oil as a person without it would. But I mean, butter still brings flavor to the party. So we're going to move this pan over, and we're also going to move you guys over in the back. Move right there. Next, we're going to wait for that butter to foam. We're going to put this on 6 on my burner, which is medium. 1 notch above medium is what we're going for. We're letting that butter foam up a little and add a little bit more. You can never go wrong with too much butter. Our sausage in the back is doing great. If I was in a rush, if I was in a hurry, I would pour some water in here and I would let it kind of boil first and then I'd brown it after so that it would already be ready to go. So you can see, oh, this smells, the orange sauce in the back smells absolutely delicious. You can't really go wrong with this. So there we go. Now it's just kind of working out all that water, making a thicker sauce. So we're going to keep an eye on this, make sure it doesn't boil over. I mean, I obviously haven't left the kitchen, but I really would not recommend just leaving this to boil. We're going to do our 2 French toast pieces now. So we're just going to go here, let them drip a little, directly into the pan. Same with that. We're going to do 2 at a time because that's how many my pan can fit. Sorry, my microwave was at 1 second and it was bothering me. We're going to turn down to medium. We're just going to let this go. We're also going to take out, I'm going to do 2 more pieces because this is really big pieces of toast. Uh, you know what the heck? We'll leave out 2 more, just in case we don't have enough custard. This recipe is for 8 pieces of really thick French toast. So that's what I mean. That's what this is. You can also use Texas toast, but I just couldn't find any in the stores I went to. I say stores like I went to multiple. I went to one, and I found what I found, and that was it. We're gonna turn down the sausage as well because I hear it sputtering a little. We're gonna give it a nice little shake. There we go. Yeah, there are water soluble flavors in there, and the peel is going to get more and more. We're going to get more and more out of the peel as time goes on. I'm going to grab a spatula. Also, ooh, I forgot the main thing, a plate. Always good to grab. So we have one for actual plating, and then there we go. We have one to act as kind of a landing pad. Landing pad one is going to also house our bread. That'll just be easier. Move these around so they're not burning. Look at the color on that, delicious. We're going to keep stirring our orange sauce. We'll fish out those peels when it's really reduced. I almost want this syrupy, is what I'm trying to go for. Okay, we're gonna turn up the French toast a little bit. This is the dangerous part because my oven goes from 6, which is like a nice medium, to brulee and then pompe. So I need to figure out that side of the dial. We're going to put in our 2 other pieces and let them soak while these other 2 cook. Only really fit 2, which is fine for me. Okay, so it's setting up nicely. I'm just going to let this keep cooking and browning. This smells absolutely delicious. The cinnamon and the orange and the sausage, just so good. We're also going to try our hand at plating, which is something that I've never been good at. Just like decorating a cake, I've never just been good at it. We're actually going to turn the sausage to low because we got all the color we wanted. So now it's just more about cooking it, making sure it's cooked all the way through. You're going to see I get more and more talkative and hyper as I drink more and more of this coffee. So you can see around the edges. Yeah. Well, around the edges of the toast, it's really setting up. So I'm just waiting for this to get really nice and brown. And then if it was a colder day out, I would turn on the oven and on the lowest setting and put them in the oven. I'm not worried about that because they're just going to go on our plate and just chill there. And the other 4 or whatever will warm itself. We'll warm them as they get put on top. I don't know if you can see it, but there is this is definitely reduced by a lot because it started about here and now it's down there. So we're working our way through it, letting that sugar caramelize and develop. It'll make sure French toast isn't stuck to the pan. All right, so they're not stuck. We're gonna hopefully turn them and they'll be good. I'd like to see more color, so I'm going to leave this other one. But this one, I've turned it already, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm actually going to have some orange juice as well, trying to blindly reach for a glass, which always works out. There we go. There we go. So the orange juice, well, now orange sauce technically, is going to gain more and more of a deeper orange color as the both sugars caramelize and the orange is kind of reduced. Delicious. So we're going to flip this one as well. There we go. That's what I'm looking for, that nice golden brown color. It's going to go quicker on the second side than it did on the first. And then we're also going to flip our pieces in the pool. There we go. I think the 2 more pieces will be just enough to use all this liquid. I don't want to waste it. So usually on this channel we only do Wednesday streams, but since to get to affiliate you need to stream 7 times in a month. I'm gonna be doing these weekend streams, or streaming really whenever I can. So spread the word. On Wednesdays it's going to be kitchen time with Izzy and Justin. We actually do it as a part of the Southern Connecticut State University College Democrats, and then on the weekends or whenever I find the time, it's going to be Wicked Kitchen with me. This series, I don't know the schedule yet. However, this will continue in some fashion over the summer. Sometimes we're going to have guests, sometimes it's just going to be little old me, but we're going to continue doing what we're doing. And this is a wonderful first episode, and I'm very happy it's worked out so far. Always worried about that. There we go. We're getting some lovely color on the sausage. I'm going to take off this French toast and move it to our plate. I'm going to get it to try to look as pretty as possible, but not entirely necessary. Hot damn, this is delicious. So we're going to turn our heat back down a little bit. We're going to go back in with our butter. There we go. We want it to boom like that. And then this egg is going to set up beautifully. Hopefully we're going to achieve that. First, we're going to let it drip a little bit. There we go. I turned down the heat because I don't want it to be sizzling like that as soon as I put it down. But I do want it to sizzle a little bit. Yeah, we're going to kind of move these around to kind of soak up that last bit of liquid. Yeah, this is the perfect amount. I said 8 slices, and it's going to be 8 slices. I'm a genius. Culinary genius at work, really. I will totally put these recipes somewhere, either in the chat here, hi Matt, or I'm going to put it on Twitter or Instagram. My Twitter and Instagram are the same name as my Twitch because I like to keep it consistent and because I don't want to remember too many usernames. This will, in fact, make your whole house smell absolutely delicious. Between the cinnamon and the orange and the sugar and the coffee, wonderful. Okay. You can see it's getting a lot thicker as the water's cooking off. And then when this gets to real syrupy status, we're gonna fish out the peels. Not worried about it. It's not like if we did with a microplaner, I'd be a little more worried because you'd just be kind of hunching down on some peel and pith, which isn't great to the taste. Let's see. Oh yeah, these are the beautiful ones. These are the beauty shots. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at the color. That's my very bad Australian accent. We're just keeping those sausages warm at this point. We're gonna flip our French toasts. Hopefully, oh yeah, as you can see, it's kind of not soaking up as much liquid as the other one. So these are gonna be a little drier. Actually gonna add a little bit more half and half and just kind of stir it around. Just so these have enough to soak up and actually make French toast instead of what would be toasted bread. Yes, I'm just mixing it with my hands. I don't really care at this point. These need to be soaked. Get these, this on the first side, and we're going to leave it there until these are done. I'm going to wash my hand, my eggy hand. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull this batch, put it on our stack of French toast here. Oh yeah, beautiful, gorgeous. All right, these last pieces are going to go down. I'm going to hit it with a little butter first and then throw down these other pieces. There we go. All right. Almost perfect. I had to add that little bit. We're going to pour a little bit in there. I had to add that little bit at the end, but damn near close to being exactly right in pieces. As you can see, the bubbles are really climbing because the water is cooking out of the what is mostly now sugar, so it's kind of building up those bubbles and it's holding on to those bubbles just until they release to the surface. So just watch that carefully as it goes. I'm going to pull the sausage as well and try to plate it up nice and fancy like. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's just me in the dorm today. My roommate is gone for the weekend, so I'm just, I guess, trying to impress myself and you guys, whoever's watching. If you're watching right now, if you're watching 10 years in the future, if you're watching in the past, it's weird. There we go. I think it looks pretty. You guys are gonna have to wait and see once this is done and once it's done. Just pulling this off the heat just to do a little check-in of if it's. Oh, this is beautiful. We're gonna put it back here and just let it cook until these pieces are done, and then we'll pour this over and call it a day. You know, I planned for this stream to be 2 hours because the episodes of Kitchen Time are 1 hour, and we're always rushing at the end. So I figured, I'll give myself extra time and do 2 hours. However, it's only been 45 minutes, and we've made coffee, a custard for French toast, the French toast, and sausage. So I mean, I'm not saying I'm like nailing this, However, I did make a complete breakfast in 45 minutes, enough definitely for 2 people, or if you're hungry and a monster like me, 1 person. I'm actually going to move these last 2 pieces over to this waiting plate because I think the French toast on this plate just looks so darn cute. If you have any suggestions for what I should cook next weekend, let me know. And if it's not too difficult, I'm not making ratatouille because that seems so hard to do. Now that there's like so little water in here, it's really bubbling up. So I'm just kind of pulling it every so often so that it doesn't boil over because hot syrupy liquids plus my hand does not equal a fun time. Actually, this is hotter than boiling water because since there's no water, the sugar is just going to increase in heat and keep getting hotter and hotter and hotter. That's how you make your fudges, caramels, and all that brittle hard candy and lollipops. I'm just watching and waiting. Yeah, all that steam is just water evaporating out. As you can see, the bigger bubbles are kind of holding on for a second before they're releasing. All right, there we go. Turning off those because those are pretty much done. Those are just going to coast until doneness. I don't really care about how they look on the underside, as long as they look pretty on the top. I'm going to clear my plate that you guys can't see and just toss them on. We're going to pull that and let it cool for just a second because I do want to try this and I don't want to burn my mouth to smithereens. So here, I'll show you what I've been doing over at the vegetation station, even though we don't have vegetation this time. Look at how adorable. Oh, I stacked it so nice. I made a little sausage pyramid, I guess. Oh no, my vegetation station camera is about to die. So we'll switch over back over to face cam because that'll be easier. So, hi. Yeah, it's our stack of French toast, and we're going to pull out, we're going to leave it going for another hot second as I replace the battery in Vegetation Station's camera. As you can see, the bubbles are getting so a lot closer together because there's only so much water in there now. So that little bit of water is just boiling out. I was perfect timing for this camera. As soon as I switched it, it completely died on me. So give me 1 second and I'll replace the battery on that. Move that off for a second. If you want like a really syrupy sauce, I wouldn't use as much liquid as I did, but I want more of a sauce, less of a syrup. Maybe just put that back on, and then I'll fish out the big pieces of peel. One of the advantages of not using the microplane, you don't have to worry about what happens with marmalade, where you're chewing on a piece of toast and then all of a sudden, bam, peel. Okay. Okay, I think I did it. I think I fixed it. We'll see when I move it back. Let's see, did I angle this correctly? Oh, I did. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, we're going to pull this off the heat so it cools down a little. And I'm going to use these chopsticks to pick out the peel. See, it's all bubbly and delicious. And I'm just going to take out the peel pieces because they've given up all they've got. This is also how you can make candied orange peels, something you don't understand how people enjoy, because I don't enjoy the peels at all. So you can see, I'll show you in a second, but they're spent. Culinarily speaking, at least, they've given up all they got. I'm gonna pull them out. This is also why I wasn't worried about the French toast not being warm enough, because this is hot. Yeah, as you can see, I mean, this is just kind of spent. It used to be all nice and flexible, and now it's just floppy. Yes, we made a sausage pyramid. Please, no jokes about that. We're gonna do a little bit just over. Did I get it? Okay, cool. I'm centered. It's beautiful. Oh yeah, perfect, beautiful, gorgeous. I'm gonna hold off on the rest of that in case I want more. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, I'm forgetting one thing. I couldn't find well, I couldn't. Wasn't bothered, but I didn't bother trying to find heavy whipping cream to actually make whipped cream, which I do quite often. I was just super lazy last night. I also ordered from Instacart, so I wasn't exactly going to tell the lady, please get this and not that. So I just ended up with regular whipped topping. And we're just going to do a little bit of that just for presentation's sake. Shake it up real good. And then we're going to, oh yeah, I'm a genius. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. Give me 1 second. I think you kind of have to spray some into your mouth when you have this. I think it's law. I'm going to take one picture of this just for me because I've actually really impressed myself. There we go. And above shot. Oh yeah, beautiful, gorgeous. All right. Then we have our coffee. We have everything here for a wonderful meal. All right. I'll move you guys back over to face cam so you can see and see my beautiful face. Also, yes, I did make that transition. I'm very proud of it. So we have our wonderful, beautiful stack of French toast. The orange sauce was so hot, the whipped cream is just melting off, but I'm not mad at it. Oh, I just got a taste of that orange sauce. It's so good. This is so amazing. Like, I know this was going to taste good, but just making it yourself and, like, from start to finish, so good. I even had maple syrup because I thought this wasn't going to turn out. I turned it. I turned the party. This is absolutely delicious. I can't believe I did this in an hour. This is a wonderful hour-long show. I'm going to put that down because if I don't, I'll keep eating it, and I don't think that makes for good streaming. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I will let everyone know when the next stream is going to be. If I don't say anything, it's going to be Wednesday because that's when we stream Kitchen Time. However, if I pop in before then, just know it's going to be Wicked Kitchen. So, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Wicked Kitchen.